Are live. Hello, I am so excited to be here. I'm Emily Freeman, dating and attraction coach. So when you start all entering, I'm going to just let you guys start entering. I would love to hear who you are, where you're from, and what you're most excited about for today. Hello, everybody. File on in. I'm going to give you all a minute to get here. It's so great to see so many familiar names and also very fresh and new names. So please, when you join, I would love for you to introduce yourself in the comments. Let me know who you are and where you're from and what you're most excited for today. Or if you want to just go for it, just put a 1 in the comments if you're excited. San Diego, love that. I used to live in San Diego. It has a big place in my heart. United Kingdom, also studied in London. India, love it. Oh, we have such an international group here today. California, born and raised. Hello, everyone. Amazing. Well, I am Emily Freeman, dating and attraction coach, and I empower people to go from confused to confident in their love lives. So people come to me when they have a good life, right? They have a successful career, they have friends, they have travel going on, but they don't just want a good life. They want an extraordinary life. And that extraordinary life includes their dream partner. And they don't want to play games. They don't want to use tactics. They want to create an authentic partnership that's lasting and fulfilling. And that's exactly what I help you do. I help you understand what's truly holding you back in the dating process to be able to step into your authentic confidence and get the partnership you've always dreamed of. So let's get it started. Ooh, Chicago's beautiful today. Amazing. It is a beautiful 110 degrees here in Arizona. Amazing. Okay, so let's start the questions. Start bringing them to me. I'm ready for you. And I have some questions that were submitted over here. Italy. All right, we're ready for the questions. I think sometimes these lives have a little bit of a delay, so if I'm telling you to submit a question and you already have, it's because I haven't seen it yet. I met my girlfriend on an airplane and she's the best, literally. Oh, I love that. So tell me, what are you hoping to get out of today's live? I don't know how to pronounce your screen name, but tell me what you want to get out of this live today. Hello, everybody. Just waiting on that question to come. Ooh, okay. How to get a woman's response and attention. Okay. So the first thing that you want to do is to release attachment to getting her attention. So when you're trying to get something from a woman, it feels like gainful intent to her, right? And when you are expecting to get something from her, that's actually you relying on her affirmation, which comes across as needy energy. And this isn't what creates polarity. So it's really, really important that you release this attachment to getting her attention and instead just focus on the ways in which you can connect with her, right? So if you're trying to get her attention from across the room, instead of, creating some sort of game out of it, trying to get her attention and acting kind of passive aggressively, instead ask yourself, how can I connect with this woman, right? It might be an eye contact or just a quick smile to see if she smiles back. Then it might be escalating to going up and asking her what her name is, asking her, if she's having fun and what, brings her out tonight. Little moments of connection are going to help you start to see how you can show up authentically instead of trying to show up in a calculated way to try to get something from her. And this is what's going to lower her guard, allow her to relax into her feminine energy, which is where she feels playful and free. And that energy is what she's going to keep coming back for more of from you. Okay, let me scroll back up now and see what other questions have popped in. Dating apps, a good place to meet available women. Well, my now husband, which I'm still getting used to saying husband, and I met on Bumble. So I am a big proponent of dating apps. But I think it's really important to recognize that dating apps are simply just a channel or a source in order to be able to attract your dream partner, right? So it's really important that you recognize that you give those channels either a positive or negative charge. Otherwise, they're neutral. They're simply just tools for you to use in order to cast a wider net and to be able to attract the type of person that you desire. And now it's really important that when you are online, that you have designed and optimized your profile to be attractive to the type of person that you want to attract, right? So if you want to attract an emotionally available woman, well, you better make sure that your prompts are intentional. You better make sure that your photos are authentic and show what you look like and show who you truly are, while also giving her a really great picture of your life and what it could be like to be with you. So yes, online dating is fantastic because you can cast a wide net, but remember, it's really important that you're aligning your thoughts and your energy with what it is that you desire, so that way you're open to it coming in any which direction, right? So if you're on the apps or maybe you're at a cafe, you don't need to be attached to how that person comes into your life. You simply just need to be open to it. Let's see what else. Okay, what's the deal with girls putting their Instagram on their dating profiles? Is this just a way to boost their followers? Well, in all honesty, sometimes, yes. And that's unfortunate. But it's really important to recognize that there will be other indications of what her intentions are for online dating other than just her Instagram handle. Because maybe she's putting her Instagram handle because she really wants to see your Instagram, to make sure that she feels safe with you, to make sure that you are who you say you are in the dating apps. So it's really important not just to look at a woman's profile and label one thing as a sign of unavailability, right? Like just her Instagram handle. You want to look at the profile as a whole to see what other green flags or maybe red flags there are indicating that she is or is not looking for a genuine connection. I forgot how much I loved doing these lives with you guys. Give me a 1 in the comments if you want these to be a regular thing. If you'd want me to come on here and do a Q&A like once a week, once every other week, let me know. Live in Northern Virginia, and I'm wanting to connect with a very popular and successful social media influencer, and I'm running into tons of imposters. Okay, so give me a little bit, Michael, give me a little bit more detail of what you mean by imposters, because I've helped clients connect with women who have larger audiences online, but I'm not quite sure what you mean by imposters. So let me know, and then when I see your follow-up, I'll get back to your question. And loving seeing some familiar names in here. Okay. I feel like the reason why I'm taking a deep breath is because this question I hear so much from men, and it actually makes my heart break for you, because feeling like you're just an option and not somebody's choice can be so painful, and it is so important that you don't buy into these limiting beliefs, because you're going to be searching for evidence that it's true. So the question that he asked is, I feel like women have too many options on the apps and move on to the next best option. So first, I just want to clarify that both men and women come up against this in different ways, right? So both men and women feel like people are not as able to commit and to truly experience intimacy with one person without running away or moving on at any sign of what could be a quote-unquote flaw or incompatibility. So this actually is not true, because there's a lot of women out there who really feel like they are not able to attract the type of guy that they truly desire online. And so it's not necessarily because they have too many options. It's sometimes because either men are not actually building their profiles to be attractive to the type of women that they want, right? So she's actually missing out on you. She's not actually seeing who you are, what you truly can bring to a partnership based on your profile. And so if your profile is not feeling exciting to her or safe to her, your conversations are falling flat, or if you're dragging it on really long or asking her out too quickly, then she doesn't always feel safe or excited to truly get to know you. And so when you do understand how to truly connect with a woman online, you don't feel like an option anymore. Instead, you get the options. And then you're able to figure out who is it that really lights my soul on fire. And the same is true for women, right? Women need to also understand, okay, how do I attract the type of guy that I truly want, and who is that guy, right? So many people think they have this idea or they have a picture of who they think the perfect partner would be for them, but they're focused on the wrong things. And it's not to say that you shouldn't have high standards, but we need to have high standards in the right things and know that being attracted to your partner, sharing common interests is a given, right? We don't need to worry about that. You're never going to settle and not feel attracted to your partner. So let that go and instead focus on, okay, I know I'm going to be attracted to my partner. So now what else do I want to see from this person? And how do I make sure that I create the space, whether you're a man or a woman, right, for that person to know that they can truly open up? So options, it's really important too, when you're looking at these beliefs and you start to notice those limiting beliefs pop in, right? So I've talked about limiting beliefs before. Limiting beliefs are just the stories that we've acquired over time that are making up what we think is true. But we've really just chosen them. They're not actually universal truth. And so what happens is, because we have what's called confirmation bias, when we have certain beliefs, our brain is going to search for any evidence of it being true. So if you're online and you feel like you're not getting a lot of dates and you have the limiting belief, well, it's because women have too many options. Well, every time a woman doesn't go on a date with you or she falls off, she unmatches with you, you're gonna go, oh, it's because she has too many options. And then you're giving up responsibility of, well, maybe I'm actually not showing who I truly am online. Maybe I am hiding behind, really short answers to my prompts, or maybe they are not actually catered to attract the type of woman that I want. So it's really, really important that when you notice a limiting belief, that you're doing the work to actually change it and rewire it to the empowering thought that's going to bring in exactly what you desire. I love seeing all these hearts. Okay. Do you believe in God's timing when manifesting your dream man, or are we more in control than we think? I've done a lot of inner work and the quality of men I have been dating has improved. Well, that's amazing that the quality of men has been improving based on the work that you've been doing. It sounds like you are on the right path. Divine timing. So I do believe in divine timing, but I also believe that we are able to create what it is that we desire by aligning ourselves with what it is. And we can get there faster simply by dedicating ourselves to doing some of the uncomfy work, right? So really looking at those parts of ourselves that aren't aligned with that. I also think, though, that it's really important that even if you do believe in divine timing, you're not taking a passive role in that. Because I believe you have to tell the universe exactly what it is you desire in order for it to go, okay, yep, here we go. Now we're going to start moving things along, right? So it's so important that you're still taking daily action every single day to understand where you might be self-sabotaging your love life, right? What are your dating patterns? What type of men have you been attracting, and continuing to do that work to make sure that you can attract an emotionally available man, making sure you're doing the work to be attracted to an emotionally available man. So I talk about the 4 phases of being attracted, subconsciously attracted to unavailability. And the first phase is recognizing that you're attracted to unavailability, right? So you start noticing, okay, yeah, the people I'm attracting, whether you're a man or a woman, right? So the person I'm attracting into my life is not showing up for me. Interesting. Okay. The second phase is that you decide to start saying no to emotional unavailability. You've gotten to the point where you're like, this is not working. And I recognize I'm not going to build my own self-worth through someone else choosing me who's not available to choose me. And so you start saying no to those people. The third phase is that you actually start attracting emotionally available people into your life. But in this third phase, it can feel really, really uncomfortable to actually receive from somebody who is emotionally available for a relationship and truly wants to get to know you. instead of having their own gainful intent, right? Or blocking it from actually happening. Because when you're so used to having something to overcome, to having this problem to solve or this objective, well, having someone who's open going, okay, well, I'm ready just to get to know you, can allow you to feel seen in a way that's amazing and so empowering, and will make you literally feel like you're on the top of the world, but can also be extremely scary if you're not used to it. So in this phase, sometimes someone will come into your life who seems like, oh, this is exactly what I've been asking for. But then you find reasons to leave, right? And caveat, just because someone's emotionally available also doesn't mean they're the right person for you, right? So you might be attracting an emotionally available person, but you're not clear on, okay, what does this actually look like for me? And then the fourth phase is you attract an emotionally available person and you feel head over heels for them, and you're able to create a really secure and healthy dynamic in your partnership. So with that being said, if you are not doing any of the work in order to go through those steps and phases, well, it's going to take you a lot longer to be able to create the partnership that you desire, because you're going to keep getting thrown the same situations over and over again until you understand what you're meant to learn from them. Okay. Let's see. Hey, everyone who's new. If you just are filing in, just join us. And if you want to introduce yourself, tell us where you're from and what you're most excited about today. I would love to hear from you. Okay. I've always been really good at the first phase in the relationship and been with very beautiful girls, but at some point I always struggle with physical contact and building polarity and end in the friend zone. Well, first off, you are not alone. This is what so many of my clients deal with because they are really well-intentioned men, right? They truly want to connect with a woman and they want to be able to create a lasting partnership, and they want her to feel safe in that. But it's really important to understand what truly creates safety for women in the dating process. And you not acting on any of your desires is not actually what's going to create safety for her. And so it'll be really important for you to look at your specific limiting beliefs around your own desirability. So a huge part of being able to integrate into your masculine energy is to own your desirability and know that women want you, right? And that's part of being confident. Now, this isn't arrogance, right? We're not going to start walking around going like, oh, they all want me, and if you don't want me, like, that's weird, right? You still have you give her the opportunity to say no to you and recognize that that's okay too. Actually, let me caveat on that. Really important to know the difference between being assertive in your masculine energy and being aggressive in your wounded masculine energy, right? So being assertive is leading from your desires and going after what it is that you want. So it might be, okay, well, I want to put my arm around her. I want to pull her in closer. I want to hold her hand. And it still allows her, when you're assertive, the space to say no. And this doesn't mean that you ask her, hey, is it okay if I put my arm around you? But energetically, if she kind of moves away, you're not taking it personally, but instead recognizing that's her boundary. And so that way you can still stay the course, stay really grounded in your masculine energy and your confidence of going, okay, I hear you. Right? I see that you're not ready for that yet. And being more aggressive is not leaving the space for her to say no, right? So rejecting her if she pulls away from you when you try to put your arm around her, right? And so like I said, a lot of this is energetic. So if she feels like she doesn't have the ability to say no to you without you taking it personally or getting offended, she doesn't feel as comfortable in your presence to be able to relax and be in her feminine, where she knows that that energy is inviting for you, right? So when you feel a woman get into her feminine energy, it's also an invitation that she's saying, okay, like, I trust you, I'm open. Another piece of that too is ending up in the friend zone can also happen if you are just acting passively, not just with physical intimacy, but in the conversation, actually leading the dating process too. So usually this is something where we look holistically at your limiting beliefs around masculinity, masculine energy, to help define what masculine energy looks like for you. So that way you lead the dating process from a place that feels really authentic and natural and not forced, like you're trying to play some game with her. Okay. Oh, I'll answer a personal question. I like this one. So, what was our first 3 dates? So, for those of you who don't know Mike and my story, he was actually living in Scottsdale and I was living in San Diego when we matched on Bumble. So, our first few dates, although I wouldn't consider them our dates, but we had FaceTime conversations over about 3 weeks before one night he looked at me in FaceTime and says, "So I'm going to fly out next Tuesday and take you out to dinner." And I said, "Just dinner." Because I wanted to make sure that we didn't feel pressure around, spending a whole weekend together when we had never met. So I set that boundary and he was really respectful of it. And he came out and he had dinner planned for that night. And he had planned to stay for 2 nights just in case we decided to go on a second date the following day. Well, before our dinner even happened, I was really excited and I found out where he was working during the day at a cafe that was just a couple blocks from my apartment, and I ended up surprising him at that cafe. And we spent a few hours together working, just sitting side by side and really getting to interact with each other in a really natural way. It was really cool. And then we went to dinner that night. He took me out to an Italian restaurant in San Diego that's still one of our favorites. And then the following day, we ended up working at a cafe again together. And I don't always recommend that people spend that much time together the first time meeting, because what happens is if you are not as regulated in your attachment style and your attachment system, or if he or she, whoever you're dating, is not, it can activate it quicker, right? For me, I knew myself well enough to know if I got activated that I'd be able to work through it, and also felt secure enough to spend that much time with him. And I can't speak for him, but he has a pretty secure attachment style, so I don't think he really was concerned about that for himself. But it's really, really important that while you're still working through your attachment tendencies, that you have really clear boundaries on how much time you do want to spend with somebody during the initial phases of dating. Also want to caveat, we did talk on the phone for 3 weeks before that. But that was, I would say, relatively our first 3 dates, because we went to dinner again that night and it was his birthday the following day. And so I surprised him with a dessert at the restaurant, and it's a story he loves to tell to this day. So those would be our first 3 dates. Also, I want you guys to recognize too, especially the men out there, he took me to a beautiful restaurant. He did fly all the way out to San Diego to meet me, but by no means did he try to go above and beyond in any other way to pursue me. All he did was show up and be himself and be open. And I think that's so, so important, because I see so many men get caught up on the exact date location, what you're going to do, how many different locations you're going to go to, how you switch it up, and you get stuck in your head, and that is the entire problem to begin with. So it's really important to know that, yes, you don't want to take her somewhere where she's not going to feel comfortable, but it's also important that you go to a place that you feel comfortable in. So if you tend to go to really nice restaurants because that's just something you do on a regular basis, and so that's where you prefer to eat, take her to a nice restaurant. She's going to feel your energy as being comfortable in that setting, knowing that's just who you are. But if you're taking her on a first date to a nice restaurant, like a 5-star restaurant, and you love just going to more casual places and being more relaxed, well, now you're going to feel a little uncomfortable in that space. She's going to feel it. It's going to feel like too calculated. So really important to take the pressure off of the location, of the planning, and instead focusing on connecting. Okay, we'll take a few more. I could do this all day with you guys. Okay, I like your advice. Thank you. Happy you guys are here. Scrolling down. Oh, there's some questions here in the question box. Here we go. Okay. Okay, this is a good one. I am a textbook attachment style of anxious. My ex who I want to get back with me is consistently avoidant. Although I so want to get back, should I consider just walking away while she finds what she wants? Okay. So, when you have insecure attachment tendencies, whether they be anxious or avoidant or fearful avoidant, it is really important that you are taking ownership of your healing process to become more secure. And it's really important that you have a partner who is also taking the same ownership. Otherwise, you are going to end up being the one making all of the quote unquote compromises in the partnership. And now, if you're okay with that, then you can try to get back together to become more secure within yourself. Because if you are more anxiously attached and you're with someone who's more avoidant, well, your anxious attachment is going to activate their avoidance more than someone with more of a secure attachment style. So if you do become more secure, they won't get as activated as often potentially, but will you feel fulfilled in a partnership with somebody who may or may not want the same level of intimacy as you? So it's really important to ask yourself, is this person willing to grow? In what capacity are they willing to grow? Or am I going to be the one working on myself in this partnership and not feeling like I'm actually on a team with somebody trying to create the most fulfilling partnership we possibly can? Because I know that's one thing in our partnership and our marriage now that I am so grateful for, and was a absolute deal breaker for me, was I wanted somebody who was wanting to build a relationship that was extraordinary or is extraordinary. And the only way to do that is to be willing to see our reflections in the other person and be willing to actually transform in those reflections to get closer together. Because I believe we attract everyone into our lives for a reason. We're meant to learn something from that experience. And even in a secure partnership, there are times where you're going to see parts of yourself where you're like, oh, didn't really need to see that. And that doesn't really come out when I'm single. So I don't know if this feels good or not. But that's where the real gift is going, okay, that's still a part of me. Ouch. Don't really love that part of me yet, but here's my opportunity, one, to show myself love and compassion for what I'm experiencing, and two, allow that part to be seen by someone else and know that I'm still lovable. And so in the dynamic of a partnership where two people are not willing to do that, it can start to feel very lonely. And the way to become an energetic match for a person who is open to growing together is to continue to be willing to grow within yourself and to know that that's an evolution that you get to experience for your life. So to your question, really important to look at, am I going to be the one who's moving the growth forward within myself and have a partner who may or may not be meeting me there? And am I okay with that? Okay. Let's see. Oh, what is the extra thing that makes a woman want to pursue something serious with a man? So first, most women don't identify with pursuing a man for something serious. They identify with attracting a man who they feel safe enough committing to, and saying yes to his ask of commitment. So if you are waiting for a woman to advocate and to affirm that she wants something serious with you, well, now you're not in your masculine energy leading the dating process. And that is the very thing, right? Being in your masculine energy leading the dating process that's going to allow her to feel safe enough to be in her feminine energy and to be able to be in the presence of your leadership and want more of that and feel safe enough to say, you are the person that I want to build a life with. So really important to look at, are you putting too much emphasis and weight on her affirmation of knowing she wants to move forward? Or are you truly moving forward led by your desires, led by your values to make sure she's the right woman for you? Ooh, lots of ones that you guys want more of these Q&As. All right, heard loud and clear. Can lured be a new word that means heard loud and clear? Can we make that a thing? All right, what time? We are at 11:30. So I am going to take a couple more here. Okay. Feels like being too open and honest from the start is not a good approach. What do you think? So I think being honest from the lens of being yourself is necessary in order to attract the type of person you want from the get-go. But a lot of people confuse being open and honest and authentic with who you are with oversharing. Because part of being authentic to ourselves is having boundaries. But if you are unfamiliar or uncomfortable with the idea of boundaries, because you've either been a people pleaser your entire life or you weren't advocated for to have boundaries, well, having those boundaries might feel really uncomfortable at first. And so it can feel like you're having to calculate what you're saying. But as you learn to set boundaries, as you learn to honor those within yourself, it no longer feels like you have to think through it. So for a lot of people, they feel like, oh, I feel like I'm having to hold back in the beginning of dating, but it's really just you getting comfortable with having boundaries when you've never had those before. So yes, it is so important to be open and honest, but if there's something that you're not ready to share with because you haven't decided if this person is a safe space to share it with, it's okay to have a boundary around that. And it's also important to recognize that, you can say, yeah, I'm looking for a serious partner, and they can say, I'm looking for, my dream partner as well. And either of you can decide, well, you're not the dream partner. So it's really, really important to recognize that part of the dating process is not just hearing what someone is saying or telling them what your truth is, but experiencing their truth and sharing your truth through your actions. So it's really important to ask yourself, what do I not only need to know about this person, right? So what do I need to find out? But what do I need to experience with them? And what do I need to feel for them to know I want to move forward in the dating process? Okay, one more. Oh, real quick. Okay, so Michael's following up. Imposters are building fake profiles because they use the same pics and pretend to be her. Okay, so it sounds like your strategy right now for meeting her is just online. And it sounds like actually getting to her personal DMs on Instagram is not working for you. So it sounds like there needs to be a different strategy around actually meeting her. Honestly, it's hard to completely answer your question just without all of the background. But Michael, if you want to shoot me a message, we can see if we can work on this together in a coaching program, because it sounds like this is a woman that you're really excited about. And I would love to help you figure out how to meet her. Okay. Since that one was quick, I will do one more. Oops, I did not mean to pin that. Let's see. Okay. How do you know if someone is emotionally available for a partnership and when he is not? This is a wonderful question that so many people get confused by, because they think they go on 1 or 2 dates with someone and they're like, he's emotionally available. He's telling me everything about himself. He's talking about the 3rd date. He's so excited to get to know me. He's calling me. He's texting me. He's emotionally available. And it is nearly impossible to know if someone is truly emotionally available just within a couple short dates. But those are all really great signs. But emotional availability is shown through intimacy, and intimacy cannot be rushed. When we try to rush intimacy, instead we just experience intensity. And intensity is what gets you in the roller coaster of relationships. It burns out. So in order to truly understand if someone's emotionally available, you have to be able to give it enough time to create intimacy and closeness. which is really just seeing each other for who you are and understanding if that person can love and accept and hold space for you as you are. And so part of that too is just spending enough time, not just talking, like I said in my last answer, not just talking about things, but actually seeing how they show up in different scenarios and how you show up in different scenarios too. Because sometimes we attract emotionally unavailable people into our lives, usually because there's a level of unavailability within ourselves. And so it's really important for you to pinpoint where you actually are afraid of being seen. What part of you are you still hoping that no one ever sees, but you actually know that that is a part of you that will likely come out in partnership? And so it's really, really important that you continue to tend to that part of yourself and learn how to love that part of yourself and become more secure in your relationship with that part of yourself. So yes, time and experience. This is also why it is important to understand the pacing of the dating process, both men and women, to understand what your boundaries are so you know that you're in and feeling really good about your decisions. Because I want you to ask yourself this before any dating decision you make, and I'll leave you guys with this today. I want you to ask yourself, is this going to strengthen my relationship with myself, or is it going to hurt my relationship with myself? Because if you're doing something out of urgency or fear and you look back and go, oh, why did I make that decision? That's hurting your relationship with yourself. Whereas if you decide, okay, I am deciding right here now, I might see some avoidant tendencies in this person, but I am intentionally deciding to continue to date this person and see how they show up over time. Well, now you're strengthening your relationship with yourself because you are honoring, one, your desire to see this relationship through, but two, also holding yourself accountable for going, I'm seeing some patterns here, but I'm going to just keep an eye on them, right? The next step from that is to go, I see some patterns here, and now I'm going to find someone without the patterns. But you get to that place by little decisions that strengthen your relationship with yourself over time. All right, you guys, this has been such a pleasure and so much fun to do here on a Saturday with all of you. And this was the first Q&A that women were invited to. Of course, women could have always showed up to the last ones, but there's a lot more women in this room today, and that is so exciting to see and to have us all have this conversation together. And it's also really exciting to see how many of you are truly aware that relying on tactics and games is not going to get you the partnership that you want, and to be truly willing to take that leap to learn more about yourself and how you're showing up in partnerships to be able to attract what it is that you desire. And this is exactly what I take my clients through in the coaching programs that I offer, because it is so important that we not only help you understand, okay, where might you be self-sabotaging in the dating process, or where are the blocks that you're blind to happening in the dating process, but also identifying exactly for how you can transcend them to become authentically confident. And that requires 4 different things, right? So I talked about this in my stories. It requires a look at your dating patterns, your subconscious programming, including your attachment style and your limiting beliefs. It requires a look at, are you an energetic match for what it is that you desire? Are you truly aligned with the person that you want to attract into your life? Do you even know who that person is? Are you clear on that? And then the third thing is really understanding your relationship and healing your relationship with both the masculine and the feminine energies. Because it's really important that you are able to be able to access your core energy in the dating process to attract the person that is going to mirror that, right? Or who's going to be the opposite of that. So if you are a core feminine woman looking for a healthy man in his masculine energy who's going to pursue you, who you feel chosen by, well, if you don't feel safe enough actually being in your feminine energy because of your past experiences and your limiting beliefs about what could happen if you do that, well, you might put on the face of feminine energy. You might be flirtatious, you might be fun and open, but when it actually comes to opening your heart, everything goes like this. So it's really important that we work through those blockages that you have around really integrating into your core energy, and also honoring the energy of your partner. So if you're a man and you want a core feminine woman, but you have consistently rejected your own feminine energy or feminine energy that you see out there, and you have certain limiting beliefs around feminine energy and how it could be overly emotional or scary or hurt your goals and dreams, well, that's where your work in lies. Because if you're not actually healing that story and those parts of you, well, you're going to keep attracting women who are stuck in their masculine energy or even wounded masculine energy. And then the fourth piece is the practical dating and relationship skills. So this includes overhauling your entire online dating strategy as well as in person, understanding how to really call somebody in. So whether you're a man, understanding how to approach a woman and how to lead the dating process to build polarity and trust, or whether you're a woman, knowing how to be open to actually be approached and to be able to really receive the dating process, his pursuit, in a way that continues to inspire him. So all four of these things we go through in a private coaching container. So all of my private clients get customized programs, and my VIPs not only get access to me every week in a 50-minute Zoom call where we're going to do a deep dive, you also get unlimited WhatsApp texting with me Monday through Friday. So this is where you could come for support, guidance, accountability between calls. So I'm in your pocket with you to make sure that you are actually embodying the work that we've been talking about and making sure you're staying accountable to that and mitigating any sort of self-sabotage that could potentially happen. You're also going to get weekly assignments, make sure we're continuing to do the work, and all my VIPs do get free access to my courses, which is so exciting. So if this is something that you are interested in, I would love it if you would DM me the word dream man if you are a woman, or dream woman if you are a man, and we can talk about next steps. All right, you guys, thank you so much for being here today. This has been so much fun, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your weekend. Bye, guys.